Creative collaboration can pivot you to the grandest success, could also lead you to the harshest failure, meaning you're at the mercy of not only your skills, but someone else's. So creative collaboration is one of my core values. I'm going to tell you about my favorite creative collaborations that I've done, which led to creative collaboration being one of my core values. Welcome to another episode of Casual Mondays. And this week, I'm going to help you by sharing my experience around creative collaboration. The whole goal of Casual Mondays is that I believe that every creative should be an entrepreneur and do not only great work, but do great work for themselves. So here in this episode, I'm going to tackle creative collaboration. So how do you meet people to creative collaborate? It's really like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, how do you get those opportunities? And I have to say, this was pre-TikTok, this was full Instagram, before DMs. Daniel Arsham started following me on Instagram. So if you don't know Daniel Arsham, I'll show some of his work here, and maybe some of his work here, or maybe some of his work here. Daniel Arsham's a famous fine artist who's collaborated with some of the biggest brands in the world. He's got an amazing aesthetic. He calls Future Relics. And at the time when Daniel followed me, I don't know, maybe I had like 5,000 followers and maybe he had 10,000 followers, but we were both early in Instagram career. Instagram was a small community. Now this could possibly happen on TikTok or YouTube or anywhere, but for me it was Instagram, and obviously he liked my work. So I always come back to, like, you have to be able to do work that you're proud to share and then share in your social channels, and that is always going to be the best place and ways for people to find you. And people need to see something that worked that attracts them. And like I said, at my core, I've collaborated with amazing people over the years before even working with Daniel. So I don't put on my page, Harry, great creative collaborator, but at its core, he saw something that made him intrigued to want to follow me. And from there, sorry, follow me. So there weren't even DMs on Instagram yet. So I'm like dating myself. So I actually went to his website and emailed him and said, dude, I've always been a big fan of your work. I'd love to get together. So he invited me out to his studio. Back then it was in Brooklyn. And he would have these kind of open studios. And I remember he had it. This was his Future Relics, and he handed me one of his cameras, which I should have on the shelf. It was this kind of classic camera, and I just remember he made me put these gloves on, and I was just I was so super psyched to actually hold my own hand. And he's like, take it. I was blown away. And at that point, we bonded, and he's like, we have to do a project together. So first and foremost, I was working with a brand called Corzo Tequila, and we started sponsoring these open studios we do, and amazing people would kind of come in and out. But I was digging through and trying to find an amazing opportunity for us to really take it to the next level. And like I said, I mean, when I first got followed and me and Daniel made that connection, I had a superficial understanding of Daniel's work, but then I always do my homework, right? Check out some interviews, feel them out, really, again, get that intrigue and understand the person I'm dealing with. So when I go in, I can I have to kind of enter. When you're collaborating with someone, you need to know what you do and how you do it, because a collaboration is the meeting of two great people. And then you need to understand what that person brings. And a collaboration is this it's a handshake, right? It's a creative handshake, but you both have to have a firm grip. So if you don't have a firm grip on what you're about, that's going to be a challenge. Daniel obviously has such a point of view on style and what he was bringing through his art and how he expressed himself that I was super excited, and I knew something was going to happen. So he basically came to me where he was launching a piece that he did with Pharrell, where it was the original synthesizer that Pharrell used to make his first beat that Daniel's making into a future relic. So we were going to help him launch the piece. We were doing it at the Standard, and then we were doing a dinner after party at the Bowery. And I was able to get one of my clients to sponsor the dinner, and then we would creatively concept together how this whole day was going to go out, including capturing content. We hired Tim, 13th Witness, to shoot the photos, which was really awesome. And back then, I don't think Tim and Daniel even really knew each other that well. I just knew Tim through friends. And it was I just started to see the world come together. It was Tim shooting the photos, right? Doing the dinner at Bowery. We had we invited everyone. We had an amazing crew of people, from Casey Neistat to Virgil came. We just curated an amazing list of people to kind of share at the dinner. Obviously, Pharrell was going to be at the dinner and kind of speak about the collaboration, but we just needed something special to make this dinner stand out. And this wasn't when you're kind of doing these events, it's about PR and kind of like getting credit for the piece, and like but you also want like the people that come to kind of take something away and feel special. And when I was at Daniel's studio along the way, like when he was making this piece, a couple of the pieces broke. So we actually had like pieces of the art. So when we did the dinner at Bowery, we basically, obviously in Daniel's like aesthetic, it was a complete white table, white plates, white, everything was kind of white. And then we gave everyone like a piece of the relic on their thing. So everyone had like a piece of the art to take home with them, which was kind of, I think made it really special and personal, and kind of speaks to like just me and Daniel like chopping it up of like how to like not just have another like sponsored after party dinner, but to really like extend his world. So again, it's like I have to like really take on and understand the world of the person I'm working with and be able to like start to speak their language. And I'm never going to speak as good as they speak it, right? But it's about just like kind of like being able to kind of brainstorm and collaborate and kind of execute something that they would be as happy of as an idea as if they came up with themselves. And that is not easy to do. And that comes from like understanding, respect, conversation, and also like, I don't know if you can tell, but like, I just get really fucking excited. Sitting, like, I was like, when I'm going to like a brainstorm at Daniel's studio to figure out this dinner, it wasn't like, okay, it's just another like meeting between a meeting and I just got to get through it. I was just like psyched to be there and excited for this collaboration. And obviously always a huge fan of Pharrell, a fan of Daniels, and having an opportunity to launch the standard and then do a dinner at the Bowery. Like all these things were things like, this is work that I wanted to be doing, you know what I mean? And it was culturally relevant, getting to hang and work with people that I like respect, and in the case of a Pharrell, like idolize at a certain extent, and just getting super psyched and bringing that energy to the collaboration. I definitely like get super hyped and kind of into it. And that I want to bring back to how this can apply to you. This doesn't apply to like a Daniel Arsham or a Pharrell or a young JEEZY or a A$AP Rocky. Like I have that same excitement from any creative or like someone that brings kind of value to a creative collaboration, whether it's an account person has a really amazing point of view on how to kind of bring this project to life and organize it, to a strategist. I love concepting with my, Sophie, my old partner in strategy, and now she has an amazing career working at Live Nation. Along the way, to an intern, I've had interns that had amazing, like great ideas can kind of come from anywhere. It's not just like I didn't just come to the Daniel Arsham meeting ready to creative collaborate. I'm creative collaborating from an intern to an account person to a strategist to obviously in production, the producer, the event producer, to my client. The creative collaboration of what we do is super, super important. And it can't be, I don't know. I just have a problem with that person that, turns their back to some people and gives attention to others, and like it just feels very insincere. I think the reason why people like the collaboration, it is true sincerity. I am there for the collaboration at any level, and that's still to this day. I learn from you. Like when I get so excited when people leave comments and want to kind of engage and kind of concept and think. I'm just enamored by the process of evolving and creating ideas and bringing things to life. It's just so, I just think we're so fucking lucky. Like I was gonna actually close the episode creativity, the hack in the matrix. We are able to like get paid to like make things, to actually like build and create things as a career. I mean, who could be luckier? And that excitement and energy I bring to my collaboration. I really believe that what I can do, I have the confidence to be great. I know will be greater with the collaboration of another person. And I don't judge the greatness of another person based on reputation, popularity, or fame. I judge it on their contribution to the energy of the project of bringing it to life. And that's why I've been able to have great teams that have worked with me for a long time and have these relationships like far past us even working together. And also right now with the small and mighty team we have at Bright Colors right now that we work with, it's always like, I don't know, I just get psyched. So this one was a little bit all over the place, but I just want you to take home one thing. Have gratitude and excitement for the opportunity you have to be a creator. Understand that to get to greatness, there's going to be a stepping stones of things, and that what you practice now is what you're going to practice later. And we just refine our skills and grow them. So if you do have aspirations to work with someone notable and creative, collaborate with them. If you can't collaborate with someone at your level or below your level, then you'll never be able to collaborate with someone that you have aspirations for. So, I always look to the power of music, of a producer and of a rapper, or in a band between a drummer and a guitarist, that like, yes, these people have relations, like a band is built and like they are together a bunch of years. Fortunately, unfortunately, in our industry, you need to be able to collaborate with multiple people that's always interchanging besides your team, whether it's a photographer for a certain job or an influencer in a different thing. So if you don't understand these principles of creative collaboration, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage about not only doing great work, but growing your business. Hope that helps. Peace.